What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video. Today I want to talk about this change. Yep, that's good. It's a bit reversed on my screen. I want to talk about this change on the screen, which you're seeing right now. Looks very similar, obviously, as the Blade of the Ruined King that you guys know and love on Lucian especially. But if you look closely, the basic attacks now deal 4% instead of 8%. So they are nerfing, they are halving the percentage damage that Blade of the Ruined King is going to do on hit. It is doubled for melee champions. So if you are a melee champion and you build this, Yasuo for example, he has the same 8% as on live. But for any ranged champion, any AD carry, you're now going to do 4% per attack instead of 8. Now this, I think, is probably going to bring Lucian down to probably below quite a weak state or maybe a balanced state, because Lucian is very much dependent on his items. If you nerf his items, you're going to completely nerf the champion. Like if you guys remember, a few months ago, Lucian wasn't played because we hadn't figured out this blade into Black Cleaver combo, and there was no real item build that was good for him, so nobody played him. He was considered pretty trash, right? Then this buff on the Blade of the Ruined King came along. We figured out this build was really good, and suddenly he's really amazing. So there are 4 things that people have kind of missed as to why this is actually probably going to kill Lucian a little bit. I wanted to go over them pretty quickly today because, as you guys know, Lucian's probably my most played champion when I was really good at the game. This is all I played before this kind of craze, I'd like to point out. But I just want to kind of give you my perspective and why I think it's probably going to kill the champion. So the first thing is, obviously, is half the damage. Now for Lucian, you're going to be auto-attacking into Q, into auto-attack. So that's 3 already applications of the Blade of the Ruined King, right? With a full combo, if you're using auto-attack into Q, double shot, W, double shot, and E, double shot, whichever order you're doing that, that is 7 basic attacks. And that is actually 56% current health damage. Now, it's not quite the same damage because you're applying 8 one after each other, and obviously it's current health. So each, well, it was 8%, right? Each percentage damage is going to do a little bit less than the one before, just because of the way current health damage works. But still, it's going to be about 56% damage, 8% anyway. And now with this change, you're going to be down to 28%. So you're losing a massive amount. For an AD carry who doesn't attack that often, you're not losing an absolute ton. But for somebody like Lucian, who is applying this twice with his passive, you're losing pretty much double. This nerf hits him basically twice as hard as any other AD carry, pretty much. That is what I'm trying to say, and that is why I think it kind of kills Lucian in the first place, like half the damage. But you also notice the very bottom thing about Blade of the Ruined King, something that most people don't know, is that the percentage damage actually applies lifesteal. So that damage you do with a percentage amount is actually factored into lifesteal when you heal from it. So not only is it half the damage, it is half the healing. And again, for Lucian, this is double, twice as bad for him because you're attacking twice after an ability, and both of those shots would heal you with the percentage damage that is applied onto them, because obviously your passive applies on hit effects. So you're losing half the damage, which is twice as bad for Lucian, and you're losing half the healing, which is twice as bad for Lucian in the same way. So obviously, as you can see, this is why it's going to hit Lucian really hard next patch. The third reason really is because now this is not a tank busting item anymore. Okay, the physical damage that you do with the 8%, obviously, as you can see, this is on the live servers because the PB is down. That's why I've got that thing over there. I'm sorry, I got the wrong side again. As you can see, that is physical damage, which means it's reduced by armor. So a tank with armor doesn't take 8% anyway. It is reduced before they take it. Obviously, it'll take a ton, but it's not quite that much. This is why reducing it by half is actually bad, because they're not taking 8% in the first place, and now you're halving that anyway. So they're probably taking 2 to 3% after the nerf, which is really bad, and kind of not even worth using this item as much anymore. With Lucian, it just becomes even worse, because this was the way you kill tanks really as him, because if you remember, the active used to do 10% max health damage on it. Now they removed that because it was too good at tank busting, and now they're nerfing the other tank busting element that was left remaining on it. Because if you think about it, 100 magic damage on a 3000 health tank doesn't do anything, right? But a 10% max health would have done a ton of damage, would have done like 300 on 3000 health tanks, for example. So that was actually really strong. They took that away. They left us with the, like say, okay, you don't need that percentage health damage because you have it on auto attack, and now they're halving that as well. So it's not really a tank busting item anymore. 4% on hit for an AD carry trying to get through a tank, you might as well just build crit. Honestly, you might as well just get AD, crit, and arm pen, and you would basically do the same job and probably even better. The last thing, so like we've lost basically a tank busting element, we've lost the damage, we've lost the healing, and the final element is the cleaver. This is why I bought this, because as you guys know, items got a bit more armor and a bit less health, which already makes Bork a little bit worse, you know, because the armor is reducing it and less health to go with the percentage. But also, like, the black cleaver doesn't reduce as much armor anymore. So we've already nerfed his arm penetration item already. This was a few patches ago in the mid-season update, right? This is already nerfed. Now we're moving on and we're nerfing this as well. So not only do we have less arm pen and there's more armor in the game, we now have less percentage damage in the same way. So when you're doing something like this, and then if you use a W, and then if you use RE, obviously a very sloppy combo, that's 7 attacks. You're doing 28% damage on the PB. You'll be doing 28% instead of 56%, which is ridiculous. Like that amount is so much to lose in a combo when you're fighting a tank. Late game, you're losing a lot of damage, and you have to remember that, like, the opportunity cost of buying that is saying, okay, I'm going to get that instead of a Bloodthirster, right? Because they're about pretty much the same cost. This was 300 gold more, but you get double the AD. You're getting even more lifesteal as well. You lose a bit of attack speed, but Lucian doesn't necessarily need the attack speed. The reason you have the attack speed in the first place is because you want to apply the percentage damage more. But if that's nerfed, is there really any point getting the Blade of the Ruined King anymore? So this is what I'm trying to say. If this like actually goes through on the PB, obviously it's just on the testing servers for now, this pretty much kills the Blade of the Ruined King Lucian build, in my opinion, because I don't see why you would opt in for 40 less AD, less lifesteal. No, you obviously get a shield from this as well, which blocks damage, so it keeps you alive even more, to have 4% current health damage. It's not even max health, 4% current health damage on that, and having less arm pen anyway, so it's going to do less damage. Like, it really feels like this is pretty much the end of the reign of Lucian, which I'm sure most people will be happy about, honestly. He is a bit oppressive, it's kind of annoying, but at the same time, for all these people who enjoy Lucian, this seems like a really heavy nerf. Obviously, it applies to a lot of different AD carries. Twitch, for example, a lot of ADs are actually rushing in this item, like Jinx to help with their lane phase. Twitch, Kog'Maw, all of these champions are probably going to get, well, definitely going to get a massive nerf from this, but it also means that tanks are going to become a bit more difficult. Like, we don't have a single answer for them anymore. Like, arm penetration is quite difficult to build for at the moment. It's not that effective either because it was nerfed. And now we don't have the perfect item, which was Blade of the Ruined King. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tank meta is back a little bit, I think, if this goes through, and Lucian is pretty much in the dumpster. Well, not probably not in the dumpster, but he's definitely going to get a massive nerf from this. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and the reasoning why, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video.